Am I live? I don't know, but now we've got 3 versions of this in the studio. Lovely, lovely, lovely. It's really struggling, which I'm a bit surprised at. Oh, we are live. Great. Let's turn on monetization. Let YouTube do all the work. Honestly, I don't feel like doing it. And welcome back to the tier list. So we didn't actually get any done in part 1 because the system crashed. So welcome to part 2, where we're actually hopefully going to get a tier list done. If I can confirm on some device that I'm live with sound. Got a phone and an iPod, and neither can find this yet, so let's make sure I'm actually live with sound before I start this for real. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Nope, what it's showing is the one I just did. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's a non-skippable ad before I can find out if I'm live with sound. So, we're going to assume that there's sound. Unless something tells me differently. Because also right now, I have no comments. Which is always fun. So, tier list. I have got every video that I did in the past year as a screenshot. And we're going to go through them all. And, figure out which ones were my favorite videos, which ones were not my favorites. Some of this is simply based on like how well they did. Some of this is also just like some of them just weren't my favorite videos of the year. And I think that's okay to have some videos you just don't like as much. So, Ferris Wheel Press Jubilee unboxing. Fell in love with the inks. Didn't like the colors. Don't actually remember the video. So we're going to put it solidly in B. That feels like a safe place to put it. And there's sound. Yay. So, Cause Paints unboxing was one of my favorite videos. And I'm going to stick it up in A because I really like the paints. I wish I'd done something a bit different for the like swatching of them, but her paints are some of my favorites and they've sort of become favorites in the palette. Like there are some that whenever I use them, people are really excited to see them being used. So it's going up in A. The Sunset Over the Beach Paint Your Style. A all the way. This was one of my favorite paint your styles I did of the entire year. This is the palette tour, which I actually really liked. Up in S. It was the video that made me realize that maybe I would keep posting videos on YouTube. It did pretty well, got pretty positive feedback across the board, and it was fun to get to showcase some handmade makers that just don't get seen as often. 31 Purple Fish, something. I'm guessing this was like a palette tidy up. Yeah, I'm guessing this was a palette tidy up and like an older one because the greens are in the same palette as my pinks, and so this was a long time ago. So let's stick this in. Let's stick this in C just because I don't remember it. Palm Trees Paint Your Style. I love this piece. I ended up entering this piece into the fall fair last year. I think it came third or fourth, but it was one of the pieces that I entered last year. Cosmic Creations BA unboxing. This was another unboxing video that, while I love the paints, I wish I'd filmed it slightly differently. The Spring Summer palette, I loved this video. It was so much fun. It was just a great project put together, and people really liked it, which made me do a fall version, which didn't do as well, which is why I didn't put together a Christmas, like a winter version. I might do another spring summer one this year. We'll see. Apparently I put that 31 purple fish one in twice, so we're just gonna stick it there again. Oh no, they've got different titles. So I tried to only download like if there were a couple versions of a video, because for some of the paint your styles there's a long and a short. I tried to only download this single version of each. Apparently I didn't hear. 4 watercolor landscapes. This is what started YouTube. This was my first video I ever posted on YouTube and is still one of my favorites. I love these little miniature trees. I think this is going to go solidly an A, purely because it was the video that started the whole YouTube thing. Do you actually need a $35 pan of paint in your palette? Yinmin is actually no longer $35. It's more expensive now. I think 31 Purple Fish has a release coming up of it for less, but I haven't actually tried it out from her yet, so I don't know how it is. All of her other paints are lovely though, so I assume it's going to be great. I'm going to put this solidly in. I feel like I need one more than I have, because there's definitely some stuff that's going to end up in D, but I feel like I need like one more to go in between C and D. Actually, between A and B is where I need it, because there are definitely some videos like Yinmin that were not my favorite, but also didn't have like filming issues. Like I spent a lot of time on it and it just didn't do well. Schminke Aqua Effect Spray. I genuinely enjoyed this video. It was so much fun to film and was just like a great time. And I'm going to have to make this little. I have to make it that little. We'll see. We'll see if that's little enough. Might not be. We have one pan watercolor painting. This was the very first monochrome piece I did, and it was spectacularly fun. I absolutely loved it. It was such a great time. We have the best part of my job, which was part of this Cosmic Creation series. I did like this video, it just wasn't my favorite. You know what, we're going to move these 31 Purple Fish down. Not because they aren't fun videos, but just, no, because there are things that actually are going in D. Watercolor Sunset. It's going down here. It was not a great paint your style. I didn't really love it. It had some weird like color things that ended up happening with it, and it just like wasn't it. We have the studio palette videos. So I did 2 of these. I did a red version. I think it was like pink through to neutrals. And then I did a yellows, blues, greens, and purples version. Both did pretty well. Both were asked for. They were a lot of work, but they were a lot of fun. So they're going to go up in A. We have the yellows version. Watercolor landscape. This is going to go down here, actually. This is probably my least favorite paint your style that I've done. It just was so hard and wasn't super fun, and I really struggled with it. Deciding on a travel palette in real time. This was a video that I didn't think was going to do well. I wasn't personally excited for it, and then it actually did. You're looking at the ceiling, I'm realizing. It actually did pretty well. And people really enjoyed like seeing my thought process for a palette. So we're gonna stick this up in A. We're gonna stick this up in S. Like as content goes, it was pretty easy to do, and people really enjoyed watching it. So we're gonna stick it in S. Granulating grays. This is part 1. Such a fun series. I think I've got part 4. I've picked up the colors for part 4. I haven't filmed it yet. Nibs Rain. I filmed a whole bunch of these nearly a year ago, and I just, for whatever reason, they are some of the hardest videos for me to sit down and edit. Like the other stuff I can just like sit down and edit, But these like single pigments or single pan swatching videos are so hard to edit. And so even though I've got a bunch of them stacked up, I just haven't gotten around to editing them. Fun sky and a pink beach. Must have been a Paint Your Style. I don't remember it. Oh, I do. I was testing out new paper and it went really weird. Like, I would do it again, but on different paper. Potter's Pink. There's so much I could say about this video. It was... I remember the palette video doing like 200 views and being amazed that 200 people watched the palette video. And then I remember I posted Potter's Pink because it's just one of my favorite pigments. And then it just kept growing and growing and growing. And now I think it's just under 11,000 people have seen it. And it's or just over 11,000. I think it's about 11.2 thousand. Which when you compare to big channels on YouTube isn't a lot. But like at the time I had less than 100 subscribers and it was insane. Oh, it's still one of my favorite videos to date. And it's about 9 months since it came out. Designing a watercolor palette with a small shop. This was the video about the palette that I created with Cosmic Creations, where I showed it off for the first time. There was a like behind the scenes video of us working on the different colors and testing out formulas and stuff. But when I one of my hard drives got corrupted back in February, I lost most of the footage for it, having had it sorted. And so I realized that I was going to have to go back and resort it if I wanted to post it. And I just don't know if people would be interested in seeing it, seeing as the palette's been sold out for like 8 months, 9 months at this point. And I don't think Laura is bringing it back. So if you have it, enjoy it, because it's quite a fun set. Painting Citrus. This is going to go in C. It's a Paint Your Style that I definitely needed more time to do than I had. I had left it for last minute. And in the end, the day that I had to do it, I had really, really shaky hands. And this is not the Paint Your Style to have shaky hands for. And it was very apparent that my hands were shaky. And I actually made that disclaimer because a few days before, somebody on Instagram had pointed out that my hands shook. And I went, yeah, like, I'm aware. And so I felt like I had to make the disclaimer in the video that yes, I knew that my hands were shaking, but there was nothing I could do about it. In the end, people on YouTube were far nicer than people were on Instagram, but it was still a piece that I wish I had left more time for. Watercolor Bird was another Paint Your Style. We're going to put this in C as well. Like, it wasn't a bad piece. It was just not my favorite. Waffles. Waffles is going solidly in B. It was a lot of fun to do. It was really challenging. And now I have no idea where it is, which is really sad because it's definitely a piece that I would probably enter in Fall Fair this year, depending on the category. 31 Purple Fish. This is swatching granulating paints. I think this is my last 31 Purple Fish order, but I may be wrong. Solidly in B. Lovely paints as always, and it was lots of fun colors. I think this was just after her purples release, and so I'd really rounded out my purples collection. This is Toronto Shopping, and filmed not in my studio, filmed at a kitchen table because we were away. I had an oncology appointment, and this was the post-oncology we've been to various stores shopping, some around the hospital, some not, and this was how we'd spent the part of the week. And now I wanted to open everything and swatch it because I knew I wasn't going to have time once I got home. And so I did, and it was quite a lot of fun, but it was not fun to have to set up a filming setup somewhere else, and I did really struggle with that. The Green Earth video, this was me trying to catch lightning in a bottle twice. The whole reason I'd done Potter's Pink was because I love Potter's Pink. It's one of my favorite pigments. My next favorite pigment is PG23, which is Green Earth. So I want to do a video all about Green Earth. And it did not do nearly as well as Potter's Pink. And I've done a couple other like pigment or like common brand feature videos. None of them I've done as well as Potter's Pink. There's just something about that Potter's Pink video that people genuinely really enjoy. And I really enjoy it too. And so I've realized that like I'm not going to catch lightning in a bottle twice. And I'm just really happy that people like the Potter's Pink video as much as I do. The Macarons Paint Your Style, this piece is no longer in my possession. It is in the possession of one of my best friends who requested for her birthday art. That was her request. And so I had picked a selection. She'd asked for pieces. And so I picked a selection of pieces from my studio that I'd done in the past year. And she picked her favorite out of the 3, and this was her favorite. Super Shifter watercolors. This was my concession to people asking me to do the palette swatching videos. Wherever they are. I've lost them. Oh, up here. The studio palette videos with my entire shimmer palette. I didn't want to do it. And so my sort of like concession was that I would do all the super shifters and then explain how I use them. It's a good video, though I think I'll actually have to go through at some point and properly swatch out all my super shifters and shimmers because people keep asking for that video. This was the next monochrome piece. And it was fun. It was the first non-gray monochrome I did, and still might be the only non-gray monochrome I've done, and it's just super fun. Granulating Grays Part 3 or Part 2 was less fun than Part 1, but was still a good time. I hated this paint your style. It was so hard. I couldn't get it. I'd forgotten my paints at home. I was doing it in the Rosa Galleries paints and discovered that I really didn't like them. Single pigment watercolor swatches. Such an important thing for me to do and was actually so much fun, and it has been so useful for the other projects I've done in the past year. Watercolors on black paper. Here. I really like this one. It's a solid video. Actually, I haven't watched it in forever. It's a solid piece. It's a fun piece. And I'm always really happy whenever I get to look at it. It just makes me smile. The Fall Fair Pumpkin. I will say the creativity that it took to do this, unmatched. The fact that I went, yeah, I don't want to do this in paint, and did them in ink, and then we couldn't find black paint pens. My black paint pen was dry, so I did all of the line work in Insta-Dry nail polish with a dotting tool. Unmatched. Like, the creativity that went into this project, superb. Do I intend to start this year's Fall Fair Pumpkin much earlier? Yes, but it was so much fun. The Cola Ring Dipper video, I really liked, didn't do well at all, but one of my favorite swatch systems. I love these. They're actually in my bag for Chicago. I have some blank ones, but I mostly have my set that I use in the studio so that while I'm shopping for things, I know what colors I already have. The importance of mobility aids. This is a video that almost didn't end up on YouTube. This was a video I made for Instagram, and I decided just to post it to my YouTube. I forget what comment had been made, but there was some comment that had just like gotten under my skin, and I went sort of like, this was my clap back to the comment. And I'm glad that I posted it. It didn't get a whole bunch of traction on YouTube. It did better over on Instagram, but I was still quite happy that I posted it just for my own mental health. Landscapes with only new watercolors. This was fun and challenging and sort of what I needed at that point. I only used 31 Purple Fish in paints that I'd gotten off the Facebook paint swap group, which was quite a lot of fun. Orange Beachscape. You're gonna go solidly in C. You weren't awful. I grabbed the wrong orange and you weren't great. Watercolor Hall. You're gonna go here. Again, it just wasn't, there was something off about it. It did pretty okay. People liked it. People enjoyed it. I just like wasn't a huge fan of it in the end. Cause Paints Viola. This paint makes people so happy. Actually, yeah, people really liked this paint when I used it in pieces. People really liked it on the swatch video. And I just need to edit the rest of these because I probably have 20 more of them with various colors. This was the first time I put the studio palette together on YouTube. It was a full-length video. There was no editing. I think I did an edited version, but I also did just like a sit down and do it version. And I really enjoyed it. It's when I realized that like tasks that I tend to hate were nicer if I filmed them or was planning to turn them into content. Sometimes I don't even turn them into content. But like how I went live to clean fountain pens a couple weeks ago, like something that would take me hours normally took me 30 minutes. So sometimes it's worth it just to set up the camera and film it and hang out with people on live versus procrastinating doing it and then procrastinating while you're doing it. Grays Part 3 was probably my favorite one in the series. They were all blue-based grays. It was so much fun. I'm realizing that you can't see my entire screen anymore, but once everything's sorted, we'll go through the list from top to bottom. PBR 7. Oh, I loved this video. This was all about the brown pigment, which again, like, is such a fun color, but also is so much tonal variation. When it comes to a color with tonal variation, I can't think of one that varies more than PBR 7. And I think I had 7 or 8 versions in my palette. And so there was this huge spectrum of colors we got to look at, and it was a great time. Mountains and Water Landscape. I did like this paint your style. It's quite a lot of fun. Painting with vintage paints. Oh, this was the vintage Pentel video. This really surprised me. These paints were actually pretty nice to use. I don't have them out currently in a palette, but I'm thinking about putting them in mini 0.5 ml pans so that I do have access to them. Stick you there. And then this is the video that I unboxed them. Can I dupe this? Oh, I love this video. So this video, there was a thread going around in a couple different watercolor groups I was in on Facebook where somebody had posted a picture of this palette and put out the price list if you bought every paint on the recommended palette list. How much would it cost? And wanted to know if it could be done for cheaper. And so I decided that what I was going to do was duplicate this palette and try and do it for less than the $300 USD that it was quoted to be. And I ended up really liking my version. I've used it a couple times. It briefly became my travel palette, and it's just super fun. And it was a great challenge to try and figure out. Flower in the water. Oh, I loved this paint your style. It was great. I did the entire background in granulating blues. Purple. I'm gonna stick you here. You weren't my favorite paint your style. You weren't the worst. Fall watercolor palette. I was okay with you. You weren't my favorite. You weren't like awful though. I think I threw in Lunar Black, and that gave me some nice colors. This is one of the Schmincke Super Granulating videos. I don't know which one. These were all great videos to film and create. They were just fun. And I think that's important when you're doing a series like this where it took so much work. I started working on it months and months before it ever went to be shown. But it was a really good time. Mythical Forest. I'm gonna go here. Mixing Quinn Gold. It's gonna go here in A. It was, again, one of my favorite videos. Super fun. People didn't enjoy it though, which was surprising. It didn't do very well. It's got a pretty high dislike ratio, but I had fun doing it. And that's always the thing, like that's the hard part about YouTube, is that sometimes I have a lot of fun on projects that like other people just don't like. Whereas I thought like comparing a whole bunch of Quinn Golds together was going to be great. Other people didn't like it. Fall Fair recap. I enjoyed this purely from the standpoint of now I've got a record of every piece I did this year all in one place with how they ranked. It's a practicality thing for me more than anything else. Did it do particularly well? No, but I really enjoyed the fact that now I've got this digital file of everything that I did last year for the fair as I'm planning out this year's entries. Uh, Paint Your Style Pumpkin Repaint. It's going to go in A. October Minis are going to go in B. They were fun to do. They weren't super well received. They were good for me to do mentally. Then we have another of the Schmincke videos. Supposed to be a whole bunch of the Schmincke videos. Another of the Schmincke videos. This is the mixing palette I did for the crazy palette. I'm gonna put this in A. The mixing palette that I did for Can You Dupe This Palette, which has like 360 something squares in it. It's just absurd, but it was also a lot of fun. That's what's hard, is like it was a lot of fun, but it was so much work. I realized now I can add a row. Too late. We're already sorting into these 5. No idea which Schmincke video that is, but it's one of them. I think this is Shire. Really enjoyed Shire. This is comparing the 2 Pentel sets. Just gonna go in A. I had fun with it. No one else had fun with it, but I had fun with it. We have that one. Oh, the Ink and Wash Pumpkins. This was a tutorial by, I forget if it was Madeline or Amber that put it out. It was such a good time. And it was also the first It was the first time I tried out my black fountain pen ink. I really enjoyed it. Scriptus recap. One of the hardest videos I've ever made. One that was also oddly cathartic and was good to actually make. So I'm glad I made it. At the time, though, I really didn't enjoy that I was having to make it. I think this is Volcano. Koi Pond repaint. This is going to go in D. I like the original more. Comparing all the Schmincke super granulating colors. This is going to go here, and you're going to find out why in a second. This is the what colors do you need to make this Schmincke super granulating colors. I mean, oh my God, there's so many left. Let's grab some water. Because I'm going to need some to get through the rest of this. All right, this is Galaxy, which, like the rest of the Schmincke series, great to do. Christmas gift tags, solidly a B tier video. I enjoyed it because I was making a video about something I was doing that I was like actually doing. It wasn't a video that I was making about a painting that I was making because I needed to film something. It was a video I was making because I was genuinely working on gift tags and I thought it was fun. I think this is Desert. Honestly, though, they're too small to read. Oh, this is Shire or Forest. Fountain pen collection. I genuinely enjoyed this video. It was easy to film though, and I'll probably do it again next year. Watercolor illustrations. This is an S tier video for one reason and one reason only. And that one reason is the fact that I already had the sorting hat and the key drawn. They were done. I just needed an excuse to use them in pieces that I could gift to somebody. And so I was really happy that I finally had an excuse to do that. This is an unboxing of paints. I had been really, really sick. Should I have been filming a video? No. I don't think I had a voice. But one of my friends was about to close her shop. And so if I wanted to swatch out her paints and show them off one last time before she closed her shop, I had to get the video up before the deadline. And so I think I got this out 2 weeks before she ended up closing her shop, which meant there were a couple people that still got to grab paints from her. That being said, I was really sick, and if it hadn't been for the deadline, I wouldn't have filmed the video then. This is, can I consolidate an 800 pan palette down to a 21 pan case? Super fun challenge. And I don't know that it's a video that I would have done without people asking for it. Week 3. I don't remember what week 3 was. We're gonna go in B. Tidying my studio palette. Oh. Yeah, all these tidy up videos. Oh, this is S tier. This is still my favorite painting. Nothing has come close to it yet. This little mini. Oh, the re-upload of the Schmincke videos. I'm gonna go in S tier, purely because somebody eventually told me that there was a mistake. By the time somebody told me there was a mistake, the videos had so much watch time that I couldn't pull them down, which was hard. Like, I had to leave up the videos that have no sound because I was so close to monetization. But I did go back through and figure out where the files got corrupted and then create a new version and re-uploaded them. So, S tier for that. It's a lot of work, but it was worth it. Week 2, sunsets. I really enjoyed week 2. You're gonna go up an A. You weren't my absolute favorite week, but you were good. Inked Up. One of my favorite series. I haven't edited my Inked Up for May yet, purely because I sort of filmed it like as we were getting ready to leave, and so I didn't have time. The Last Christmas Commission was a good video to film, but definitely a hard project. You're gonna go up an A. So many left. Okay, now we're just gonna start pulling videos. You're the 8 pen challenge. You're an S tier video. I have to say, I filmed this video 5 or 6 times. I just couldn't get it right, and I'm actually pretty happy with the version I put up, but it was definitely hard to get to that version. We have Aurora Borealis Paint Your Style. Such a fun paint your style. You're going in S tier. I absolutely love the final look of it. It's just great all around. We have week 15 of the 100-day challenge. It's going in S tier just because I made it to week 15. You know, it got a bit sketchy there where I thought I might just quit. And I didn't. I made it to week 15 and I did them all, and I was quite proud of myself. Our Artistic Isle bottle cap video is going in A. I like this video just because I got to play with a little palettes that I really like. I also got to try out some new paper in a pretty low stress way, and it was just fun. Shimmery trees. I'm gonna go in B. Made a couple mistakes. Maybe I'll go and see. I'll go and see. Made a couple mistakes. I don't love you. You photographed well. Champagne glass paint your style is going to go in B. Looked quite good. People really liked it over on Instagram, and it was just a fun piece. I dislike this paint your style. Oh, this is comparing them all. This by far is probably the most useful video in the entire Schmincke Super Granulating series because it shows you exactly which colors look like the other colors. So helpful. 100-day challenge week 1. You're gonna go in A. We started off solid. Behind the scenes of the Schmincke series, you're gonna go B. Basically this video was all just B-roll and I shoved it into a video. Am I mad about it? No. It was a lot of work to make the Schmincke series, but it's not a great video. Oh, it's the flying key. I'm right. I love this. I love the key. I love how it turned out. I love the line work I ended up doing. It's just brilliant. Fountain pen ink collection. Again, did really well, which shouldn't surprise me because I enjoy watching them as well. It's always surprising like when things do well and I go, oh yeah, well they're what I watch too. But I genuinely really enjoyed it. It was fun to go through all my inks. I think I filmed maybe 2 or 3 different versions of it to get one that I really liked, but I do like the one that I ended up using. Easiest way to cheat a detailed watercolor piece. People really liked this video. And honestly, so do I. Oh, opening up and swatching. The backstory to this video is that the colors were supposed to come out on New Year's Eve. They didn't. Colors were supposed to come out on New Year's Eve. My package did not arrive until December 27th. It ended up being sent from the US to the UK before it got rerouted in the UK and came back to North America and ended up in the States and then came back to and ended up in Canada. It was just such an experience to get this package. But we also celebrated Christmas on the 27th. And so family was showing up to celebrate Christmas, and I had mom holding her phone with the flashlight on as a ring light as I filmed the opening section of this video and swatched out all the shimmers and filmed all the shimmers so that I had content to go out about them. I don't know if I did the mattes that same day. I think I did some of them that same day, but it was quite an experience with the postal service. Atlas opening. Oh, I'm so excited to see the Atlas team in a couple days. I already have stuff on hold. You're not a C tier video. You're a B tier video. You're not a great video, but you were fun. Week 7. I don't know what week 7 was. Let's look. Amber Lane. Palm trees. Oh, I actually like this week. You're going up to A. Oh, the pigment videos. These are all solid videos. I like them quite a lot. Getting my Quakos customized. I love this video. I had waited such a long time. I had planned to send them after my birthday, which is in November. And then I got sick, and then it was Christmas, and then it was suddenly like the middle of January, and I was finally sending them to her. And I have to say, it's a pretty amazing artist when you can go, here's my Instagram, find something in that aesthetic that you like, and put it on pen nibs, please. And Kiara totally did it, and they're great, and I love them. They're actually in my pen roll right now for Chicago. I think one has Bayou Berry Mist, and the other has... I don't know what the other has in it. I want to say it's Dancing Time, but it's not Dancing Time. Dancing Time is in something else. What's in it? We have Bayou Berry Mist in the Bunny. And nope, we've got Bayou Berry Mist in the Sunset. And we have Storied Blue in the Bunny. Hashtag I actually know what's going on. We have the green pigment video. Which is going all the way up to A. We have Tommy Bahama. I really struggled with the theming of this week, but I actually really like the pieces I did this week. Yellow pigments. Great video. The original tier list videos are lots of fun. People enjoyed them. I enjoyed them. And I had already planned on doing this before I did the original tier list videos. I thought, like, if I can figure out this tier list thing, this would be really fun. And so here we are. How I organize my swatches. No one liked this video. It's too long. and I need to figure out a better video for it. Jellyfish. Oh, I loved this week of the 100-day. It was such a fun week. They're all sparkly. Almost all of them are color shift. They're great. The dot card videos. People really like these dot card videos. So I've done the exclusive from Schmincke. I've done the 1/840 from Schmincke. And I've done the lights and the darks. Oh, there's the exclusive. I've downloaded exclusive twice. Maybe I didn't download lights and darks. Oh, there's dark. Maybe I didn't download light. And then I've also done the Daniel Smith. But I don't think it got its own video on the channel. It got its own like live stream, but I don't know that it got its own video over here. Mixing indigo 4 ways was a hard video because my mic was not working and I didn't know it wasn't working. And for whatever reason, I didn't check the sound before I uploaded it. So the sound on it's really awful. So I think I'll go back to it at some point because it was a super fun and informative video. Mixing Schmincke Tundra Green and Forest Green. This was such an amazing video because they hadn't worked in the original Schmincke videos. I couldn't get them right, and suddenly I had the right cobalt green pale. Yeah, PG19. And I could get them, and I was just so excited. Mystery palette painting. Again, one of my favorites. It's totally random. I used a set of Japanese color books that I have and picked from that, and it was great. Using the Lisa Solomon color deck. Another one of my favorite studio things. We're going to put this in B tier though. Like, it wasn't a great video, but I did enjoy it. And really, sometimes that's just what you need. You need to enjoy it. And it was just like a weird day and I needed to get out of my own head. Cosmic Creations Verde-Bear. Love this color. I have it in my palette always. Yeah. I was going to say, is it in my palette right now? And then I went, I didn't pack watercolors with me. What are you talking about? Week 4. This was Water Ripples. Cute, but not my favorite. Mixing Sap Green. I liked this video quite a lot. Returning to Monochrome. Super fun video. We're going to put this in A tier. Painting with my least favorite paints. We're going to put this solidly in B. I hated the paints. Turned out shockingly well for hating the paints. Changing the way I swatch. I wanted a Rolodex for such a long time and was so happy to finally find one, and having my swatches in it just makes me so happy. The Violet Pigments video. No, we'll go here. Ocean. Solidly in B. Schmincke Lights. I knew I'd done Schmincke Lights. Lakes. This was such a hard week to film. By this point, Grandpa was in the hospital and dying, and like my brain just wasn't there. But I didn't want to give up on the challenge at that point, and so I did it anyways. But you can definitely tell, like, stuff's going on. My brain isn't functioning. Vintage Reeves versus Vintage Reeves. Video I enjoyed. No one else enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it. Ink and Wash Landscape. This was not it. Boardwalk Ocean, though, was quite good. Week 10 was Coastal Cliffs. I didn't like these, and nobody was afraid of telling me how much they disliked these. think it is the most dislikes a single challenge video has on it. Blacks and whites. Can I recreate? This was potentially the most fun I ever had on a video, because a couple weeks later, I was gifted the set by a family friend. And so I actually got to compare and find out just how close I was for some of them. And it was just this amazing feeling of knowing that like I had actually done it for some of them. Week 9 lighthouses. It was lighthouses. I did like it. Brown pigments. Inked up for, I want to say that's March. I did like it. Orange pigments. I did not like this. It was solidly in C. Red pigments. Here. Genuine manganese blue. Oh, you're gonna go here. The truth is that when I filmed this video, by this point, I don't know if Grandpa was in the hospital and on palliative care. Grandpa had died, and like we were in funeral prep. If, for whatever reason, it was a live that happened at like 9 p.m. at night, and it was my mental health break. And it was really important because I finally was getting a mental health break of just like getting to sit down and finally paint and like just play in the studio again. And so what I chose to do was play with this rare manganese blue because I had access to it. And really, I just wanted to have fun. But it was definitely an odd moment. Orange base convenience colors. The convenience color videos have been some of my favorite series. I did love the Schminke series, but it was a whole lot of work. The convenience color series has just like sort of been fun. I did most of the hard work when Grandpa was in the hospital and the house was loud and busy, because it meant that I could just like sit down and take notes and like organize stuff. And then once the house was eventually quiet, I could sit down and film. So that's what I did. I spent weeks doing like the behind the scenes work and then eventually sat down and filmed. Blooming tree paint your style. I really liked this one, and so did other people. Mont Blanc gray. It's definitely an A tier video. I don't know that it's an S tier video, but it is such a fun video. And I genuinely enjoy this ink. I have it in a pen currently. It's super fun. Week 14. Oh, S tier, S tier, S tier. This is monochrome boats in miniatures, and I'm obsessed. Week in the studio. We're gonna go. I enjoyed it because it made me think in a different way. And it was a week that I got a lot done because I had to get a lot done. And I think it was important to show what I was actually doing that week. That being said, it didn't do well. And I'm happy I did it, though. Like, it's just, there are some weird feelings about that video. It was, like, very raw to put some of that stuff out there, and, like, it just didn't, yeah. Swatching my entire watercolor palette. This is brand new. This is the April version. I liked it. I like the miniature trees. I'm really vibing with them currently. They're fun, they're creative, and they mean there's content going up on shorts every day, and then I can sort of spend time in the studio just playing and doing other things that are artistic, and they become posts, they become shorts, they become videos. but there's always something going up. Brown base convenience colors. One of the most surprising videos I've done in the convenience color series. White was the most surprising, but the brown one was very surprising. We're going to put the waterfalls in the B tier. I hated it while I was painting it, but it actually looks fairly okay on camera. 31 Days of Trees. It's going to go up in S. No, it's going to go up in A. It's great. It's the Color Explorer Challenge. Yeah, it's the second year of it. I've done it 2 years in a row. It's always fun. What I do like about it is that she just gives you a color every day and not a prompt. It's great. It's much more doable, especially when I was doing something else like the 100-day challenge. White base convenience color. You're going in S tier. You were such a fun video to do. Coloring in a chat. This was using the new Ferris Wheel Press coloring sheets. And it was sort of a test of my brain, but also like I'm not putting myself through this unless I'm doing it on live where other people are hanging out with me. And I think we had a fairly active chat over on the live stream. And I actually had a fairly good time. So, A tier. Week 13. I don't know what you are, so you're getting solidly in B. Black base convenience colors. So many pretty colors in this video. Week 12. I don't know what you are, so you're going B. Red base convenience colors. You're going up to S. This isn't out yet, but will be out by the time 1 year on YouTube rolls around, is the blue base convenience colors. Obviously. Super fun video. Was a lot of work. There are a lot of blue base convenience colors in my palette, but was a lot of fun and was just a great time. Island Sunset. We're going to go in A. I really like the sky of this piece. And then violet base convenience colors. You're going to go here. Like, just fun. I have to say, like, there are lots that are just fun. So S tier, we've got A. I think A and S are pretty even. We've got less in B, C, and D, so, which is good. Like, I've made less videos in the past year that I actually dislike, which is nice. So, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below which is your favorite video from the past year. I think it's hard to decide between Potter's Pink and the loved Potter's Pink, but I also really loved the Painting with a Mystery palette and my favorite watercolor painting ever.